J Mats here from GenerationD20.com. This is round 7 of the MOCS. MOCS. Who knows what I'm talking about? But the Magic Online Championship, and I'm currently 5-1, heading into round 7. Had a very keepable opening hand with some removal, some creatures to buy me time. And even that there, knowing that Griffin Sentinel's on its way, I have 3 pieces of removal at hand. Obviously looking for a second island to get the Aether Adept rolling. At this point, unless he Spirit Mantles or something crazy to that Stormfront Pegasus, I'm going to bank on being able to trade it or hold it off with my Griffin Sentinel. That's the early plan, and keep my removal for threats that I can't answer. And if he ends up burning it or pacifying it or doing something like that, then I can worry about it at that time and place. Getting the second Doom Blade made using the first one kind of a lot more expendable. And because he's playing white, Pacifism has a danger of potentially being able to get Oblivion Ringed or Demystified. So if it's a creature I for sure want to get rid of, I better kill it. Here I probably Doomblade. Maybe I pacify. The other side of that is he may have creatures that have some activated ability, and with those I would want to be able to Doomblade instead. And I think the reason I did it this time actually was to keep up Doomblade mana, since it's instant, so if he casts something next turn, I can kill it before it ever gets to my turn. And sure enough, he gives me a doozy of a target. Yet another Titan. Although at least it's not a Grave Titan. In 6 rounds I faced 3 Grave Titans, and so in 7 rounds I've faced 4 Titans. Good Titans, not... I mean, Sun Titan's okay, but it's certainly not the bomb that Inferno Titan or Grave Titan is in Limited. And that hurts a little bit, for sure. That would the advantage to playing Oblivion Ring over Stave Off, or not Stave Off, Oblivion Ring over Pacifism is that Stave Off is not an effective piece of removal against that. So, at my life total, and because I have nothing else to do this turn, figure I'll lock him down for a couple turns to buy me time. And out come the Bang Chuckers. Now, this is nice to finally get that second blue, get a threat out there. Although he still has clearly a stronger board state than I do. The Oblivion Ring can take care of that Sarah. And you would think I'd have to be drawing into some creature soon. Just law of averages or whatever. So instead I get a Stave Off. Now the Pride Guardian can keep the Bang Checkers from really doing too much work. But I'm going to offer the trade, knowing that I have Stave Off to back it up if I really wanted to save my Aether Adept. The Mana Leak has significantly lost a lot of its power now that he's at 7 land, because he probably doesn't have that many 5 or more drops in his deck. I've already seen the Titan. But you can sometimes get someone who's a little bit greedy with a fireball or something like that situation. Here we go again, and I think he blocks this turn? No, he doesn't. He's still letting me through. Unfortunately, he has run a little bit dry, although he's had a better run leading up to this point as far as creatures. Getting to Sarah, getting his Inferno Titan. But I just drew a big one. A good help. Now I just need one more land and I can get myself to a good place. When he did that, because I want to make sure I trade, I went with a stave off. Now, the downside to it is if he loses the flip, he kills himself anyway. But either way, he's going to kill, or I'm going to kill him. And this way I assure that I don't lose my creature. And so, sure enough, get that land. He's at 3 cards, which makes me a little bit leery. Makes me wonder what he could have in his hand that he's not using. But most likely it's some removal that he just doesn't deem Aether Adept enough of a threat to consider. When you see that, you know you're going to take Mind Control, whichever pile it ends up in. And you kind of expect for it to be Mind Control in one pile and everything else in another pile. But the guy gives me a couple lands as well. And I have no problem, having a couple extra cards in my hand. I don't think he has a sudden impact that he snuck into the set or something, so should be safe with that. So now I have the opportunity or the possibility of flipping the kind of control of the board. I decided to go ahead and mind control his Pegasus, mostly because I want to make sure I can attack in for 7 this turn. And yes, there is a possibility that he flings it in response, or that he stave off, or any sort of other trick, but if he's flinging, he's probably killing my Adept. I really don't want him to be able to block and then Chandra's Outrage or something to kill my Sphinx, because right now my Sphinx seems to be my best chance at victory. And sure enough, there goes the fling. But the air is clear for 5 through. And at 7, 2 more hits from the Sphinx, or, well, there goes that. So I still have him on a short clock. He gains 6, I'm dealing 5, and getting the Assault Griffin out there means that I will be able to deal lethal next turn if he can't answer. I'm not concerned about his soldiers so much, and he does have a 1-turn reprieve with that, but he still doesn't have an answer for my Sphinx. I'm assuming he doesn't have an answer in the 2 cards he has, so he has a top deck to try to stop me. And he wasn't able to. So I have beaten the kid. Don't know how often I should really say that. I've beaten the kid. Well, CPS is going to be after me soon. As far as the deck goes, might as well keep it. Doomblades are going to be very good against this Inferno Titan, which is kind of my biggest threat. The only time I ever sideboard out to my strictly white-blue build as if I'm playing black, and I feel like I've lost a lot of the power that those cards offer. So, stick with this one. And hopefully the kid will decide to submit a deck sometime soon. Nothing more excruciating than sitting through a full time of sideboarding if someone takes it. I don't even know what it is, 5 minutes. Especially if your deck's rolling and you just want to keep up that rhythm. Actually, in a tournament like this, I really should have forced my opponents to sit through that 5 minutes, because it can throw you off. It really can. And we're approaching a minute and a half left. Maybe this guy was going to the bathroom or something right there in his chair. It is a full day's work taking part in this tournament. I guess I never really appreciated how much time it took until I had to do it myself. That being said, some of these games are 10 minutes, and it seemed like every round went to its maximum, so I couldn't go do something else because I knew that the round was going to be coming up or the next round was going to start, but I also, was just sitting here waiting. And that wasn't the start of the match, that was my bizarre sideboard turning off to go back to the tournament. I'm getting the sinking suspicion that he does take it all the way to time. Just refuses to submit his deck. So, whatever. There's only half a minute left now. And thinking about his deck, there's Shock as a danger that we saw. So I'm assuming he has some more burn. Maybe not, but I'm guessing, and he has Fling. Fling is something relevant to think about, because whatever his creature's power is can therefore be burn or put it within reach. Never saw anything like a fireball or anything. Okay, we're back. He finally submitted his deck. And again, totally keepable. Pride Guardian, probably wait a turn, and then Benelish Veteran. If he put out something just crazy, I can't think of a 1-drop or 2-drop that's that crazy, but if he did, I have the Doomblade at the ready. So apparently he submitted the deck. Oh, there we go. But he didn't show up, but I was just complaining too quickly. Pride Guardian in this tournament was interesting. I think it's safe to say that I would rather play Pride Guardian than nearly any other 1-drop than Pride Guardian. But I just had, looks like I need to install some stuff. Surprise, surprise. So really I'd like to avoid 1-drops altogether, except for maybe Elite Vanguard. But with a card like Pride Guardian, it gave me a little bit of defense, because I really was short on 2-drops also. And if you don't have any plays on those first 2 turns, it can be hard to make up from there on out. So here, I know I'm going to be within mind control reach soon, and I know that the veteran, I can attack in and, turn a profit on that. I considered pacifying his veteran, but at this point, he can't stop my creature, and I could chump if I wanted to, which apparently I do. Chump my way into... Oh, I'm clever. Apparently not when I'm doing video, but block to get 3 life and then kill it. Yeah, that's good stuff. So now he puts out a better threat, which gives me the opportunity to mind control, which not only clears the way for my veteran, but also opens me up for some more aggressive attacks on turns to come. Assuming that he only casts one creature next turn, I can pacify it. And the other good news is I can pacify with Mana Leak up, so potentially next turn he doesn't get anything relevant on the board either. And life is just ticking away at this point. He's down to 8. I'm at 23. The game is not won by any means, but it definitely is leaning in my favor. Now, if he, and that's a perfect thing to Mana Leak, if he gets his Inferno Titan, that's a whole nother story. The good news is that I can have him at 2 life if he does get that Inferno Titan, although he would split damage between the Assault Griffin and the Phantasmal Dragon. It would leave me with a veteran that could add attack into his giant Titan body. But he didn't put out a land, and he is putting out that, and that's fine. Nothing there tells me that I don't win this turn with my 2 airborne individuals. I go ahead and attack with the veteran also, because if he wants to trade all of his soldiers for the veteran, he can. He didn't have an answer, and that's the win. So I'm up to 6-1, and I'll see you in round 8.